What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza 5 for another drift build. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of different drift build this time and build the Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione. Now, this car is not really a car that you'd see in drifting lobbies very often. It's not a car that you would see really being used that much for competing in online drifting that much at all, which actually is why we're going to build it, because I like using cars, like you guys know, I like using cars that aren't your average cars, and I'm going to look through the designs here. I don't think we're going to take one of them because the featured designs usually aren't that great. In fact, they're usually kind of bad. Like, for example, what the hell is this doing here? Just doesn't make sense. Anyway, I like this carbon one, though. Looks really nice, but personally, I like the red that it comes in stock. Or the yellow. Or we could actually go and see... We could do a matte red. Or make some kind of crazy color combination. But I think, honestly, I'm going to go with the, one of the second, stock red color. I like it a lot. It's nice. It's a nice, bright red. It works with the car really, really well. And I might actually just paint the stock wheels black instead of just, changing the wheels. I'll probably, like I said, paint the stock wheels black because they fit the car really well. Now, I'm not sure as far as what customization options we'll have. I think, as far as forced induction goes, we'll probably have both supercharger and turbo options, but I'm not quite sure. We actually only have a centrifugal supercharger option, which is surprising, because I would have thought that normally they let you have at least the choice of a turbo or a supercharger. In this case, they only let you have a centrifugal supercharger, which is kind of weird for Forza, especially Forza 5, because on Forza 5, they went totally over the top on the types of forced induction options you could choose. We're going on to street tires. We're not changing the tire size, though, because we don't want to make it, you know, like, too big or anything. And no, we're not changing the wheels. I just realized that. It's just a habit to go in there and change the wheels. But, I mean, I guess it makes building the car decently simple if you limit the amount of options. But then again, that also tends to limit the amount of creativity that you can have when building a car. So there's a good side to it and there's a bad side to it. And I appreciate really appreciate the amount of support I got on that Fujimi Kaido run in Forza 4. I'll be going back and doing more Forza 4 once I get the audio sorted out, because the game volume was just a lot higher than the actual voice volume, which, I mean, I guess I misjudged the volume levels, but we're going to go back in and change that, because you guys seemed to really like my little return to Forza 4, because Forza 4 is really, really fun. I mean, I played it the other day, and, you know, after playing Forza 5 for so long, I played Forza 4 the other day, and the amount of tracks that were available to me it was just really refreshing, and I just kind of got back on Forza 4 with some friends, and played some old, like, just drift games, like, let's see, what did we do? We did, like, drifting where we would just, like, judge on corners and clipping points and lines, and then we would also do, like, different types of things where we would judge on. I think we did suicide drifting as well. We did a bunch of stuff, really. It was a really fun, night, honestly. I mean, I started playing Forza 4, and then I realized it was, like, 3:30 a.m., 3:30 a.m., and I was like, are you serious? We've been playing it for that long? And yeah, we had been. Just because of the fact that that game really, once you get into it, and you've got a good group of people to play it with, it really, really is fun. I mean, Forza 5 is too, but there's just something about Forza 4 that I went back and I was like, yeah, this feels right. Something about this just really feels right. Nearly done building the engine. I didn't realize that I'd been just sitting here fully building the engine. And now I'm realize I'm sitting at 859 horsepower. Lightweight flywheel in there. Took a little while for it to make up its mind. It eventually did, but it took a little while, like you guys saw. I'm going to go ahead and stick a little bit of a tune on it, and then we're going to take it out and see what it can do. But we're going to paint the stock wheels black first. I can't forget to do that. And also, the budget builds will be coming back. I think I have a car in mind for that, and I think you guys are gonna like it, just depending on what it is. But I'll be sure to try and get that out as soon as possible, because sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out what to do for those budget builds, because you want to set something that's a little bit realistic, but a little bit kind of out there at the same time. You want to do it right, but you also want to do it in kind of a really interesting way that maybe somebody will have done the same kind of concept before, but they will not have done it the same way you did it, if you guys know what I mean. So we're going to be testing this car on the Bernese Alps, and I forgot to paint the wheels black. Really? I was going to do that too, and I told myself I was going to do that twice. Twice I told myself I was going to do that. But let's see if it can do a total brake stand burnout real quick. Yes, it can. And here we go. Oh. The power is instant with the centrifugal supercharger. You don't have to even worry about it at all. It's just there, which is really nice. Oh, God. Oh, my God. That was extremely close to the wall. I need to adjust my volume just a little bit. Not the volume you guys are hearing, but the volume I'm hearing, because I couldn't really hear the car. The inside just a little bit. Oh, not too bad. Uh-oh, 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 oh boy. Saw the car getting just a little bit too close to that wall, and I knew what was going to happen. At least I knew it was going to happen if we kept that line up. Oh. Into 5th, down the hill. Get a little bit of speed going down to 4th. E-brake, tail comes around. Feather the throttle, because if you go any more than really light, you will spin it on that corner. It doesn't feel like you will, but then the back end will catch momentum, and then you'll realize, yeah, I should have feathered the throttle. And trust me, you learn that after screwing that corner up in a ton of online drift lobbies. Oh, boy! Let's see if we can get it down to 3rd, kick the back end around. A little bit more on the... Ah, dang it! That corner is tricky to judge, because if you go just a little bit too high, you'll slide off the top of the corner. But if you go just a little bit too low, they'll deduct your points. So, it's really... That's just one of those corners where it's not forgiving at all. If you screw it up just a tiny little bit, they're like, nah, you can't have that one. We're going to take your points... We're going to take all your points away. Have I mentioned how good this car sounds, though? It sounds so good. I don't know if it sounds quite as good to my ears as the Maserati Gran Turismo, but it's definitely up there. It's a brilliant sounding car. Get a little bit more angle. Jeez, I need that angle if we want to score anything. I actually saw a Maserati Gran Turismo convertible the other day, or... I guess for a few years they called the Gran Turismo convertible a Gran Cabrio, but then they just started calling it the Gran Turismo convertible. I call it the Gran Turismo convertible because that's basically what the Gran Cabrio was, but then they just kind of changed the name anyway. So I saw one the other day, and it's weird because you look at it out of the corner of your eye, and you don't quite catch it at first, and then you turn your head and you realize what it is, and then you're like, and then you just realize, like I said, you realize what it is. And then you just absolutely pray that they start revving it because it sounds so good. And unfortunately, this particular one I didn't hear it take off, I didn't hear it rev or anything, but still an absolutely gorgeous car. And yeah, they're not fast, you know, the Maserati Gran Turismo, you know, they're not that fast. Their paddle shift automatic gearbox is not really that advanced. The shifts aren't, you know, lightning fast like a double clutch transmission or anything like that, but they are very cool still. They have a lot of charm to them. Not the gearbox, but the car. The car has really a lot of charm to it. It's more like a car that you go on like a grand tour in, rather than a sports car that you would go like to chase somebody else up a back road, like the GT86 or FRS BRZ like I have, or the Porsche Cayman or the Boxster or something like that. That's something that you go to chase somebody up a mountain pass with. The Maserati Gran Turismo is something you go you take on a grand tour, something you want to have. Oh god, I knew that line was horrible, and I saw myself coming into that line, and it was just bad. But yeah, that's the kind of car you take on a grand tour where you want the sound, you want the drama, you want a decent amount of power, you want it to be comfortable and easy to drive. And it's, when you think about it in that sense, it's actually a really good car for that. I mean, if I was going to pick like an ideal car for a grand tour, the Gran Turismo, Maserati Gran Turismo would be up there on my list. There'd be others I'd consider, like for example, the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish, or, well, I don't know why I said V12 Vanquish, because that's what they used to call it, but it's just the Vanquish because they all have the V12. But that would be up there on the list. Let's see, what else would be up there on the list? The, actually, the 911 Carrera S would be up there on the list. And yeah, I know it's kind of some people may consider it a boring choice. I don't. I like the 911 Carrera a lot. I think it's, especially the 2S, I think that's probably the best variant of the 911 Carrera you can get. And then you know, you've got your Turbo and your Turbo S, which are just awesome. I love the 911 Turbo S. But personally, my favorite Porsche 911, even though it's not really a long-distance driving 911, is the GT3 RS. I mean, you could take a GT3 RS on a road trip, but there's going to be less room for things because the back end is full of scaffolding. But honestly, I don't really care, because I wouldn't really care if I were to ever have a GT3 RS. I wouldn't care that the back of the car was full of just like metal tubing, because it is, from what I've heard anyway, such a brilliant driver's car. Backing around just a little bit more, and also I just realized another GT car that I am actually really curious about is the new Ferrari California T, the new Turbo California, and that car is really, I find it to be kind of unique, because they're going back to their turbocharged mentality that they kind of had back in the days of the F40, but at the same time, I don't know, some people say it kind of loses character because of it, some say it gains character because of turbocharging. I think turbocharging kind of adds another element to the car, so it adds a little bit more entertainment, a little bit more character to it. But again, everybody has their own opinions about that kind of thing. Some people think that turbocharging, it gets away from the naturally aspirated engines and the pleasure of driving a naturally aspirated engine, and I can definitely understand that, because of driving a naturally aspirated car right now with the FRS and its NA FA20, is the best thing about driving an NA car is the instant throttle response that you get, because there's no interruption, there's no waiting for boost, there's absolutely nothing. It's just literally the engine connected straight to the car. There's no forced induction to wait for at all. But I don't know. It depends on. I guess it depends on how it's done as far as the forced induction, whether it's turbocharging or supercharging. It depends on how it's done and who does it, because that can add a lot to the experience. But if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one, where we paint the wheels of the Alfa 8C. Did I say Alfa 4C earlier? I meant to say Alfa 8C. But anyway, where we paint the wheels of the Alfa 8C black, or at least if we remember to, hopefully. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.